Hello everyone. Today again we'll be looking after some topics on the digital voltmeter. In the previous video we have studied what is the basic DVM is, that is the digital voltmeter is, and the technique to measure the digital voltage by RAM technique. There we have also here again two more methods we'll be discussing. One is the dual slope DVM, another is the staircase RAM technique. And the first we'll be looking after the dual slope DVM. Here the basic principle is the input signal usually integrated for fixed interval of time. That is, for once the cycle is for increase in the slope, another is for the decrease in the slope. That is, increase in the slope is due to the presence of the capacitor available in the integrator circuit. You can see here whatever the voltage is given via resistor, it is charged is the capacitor. Whatever the capacitor is charged is it usually in the peak form. It is a rising form. Next, it is in the decreasing form. That when the capacitor starts to discharge, it will be in the decreasing form. So again, so that we call as the reverse slope. So here one is the rising slope, another is the decreasing or the reverse slope. The two methods will be the two slopes will be measured here. So this is whatever it is constant and proportional to the magnitude of the input. So whatever the input is there, that much the amount will be charged and the discharge. Hence this name is also known as dual slope integration technique. So at present you can see here two switches are here, SI and SR. SI is for the input EI, whatever the input voltage is given, that switch. Next one is another is for the minus ER. This is nothing but the negative reference. Okay, so now what we are doing, at first the SR is open switch and SI is on. So whatever when SI is on or it is a closed switch, the EI, whatever the input voltage is there, is given by this SIR to the capacitor and to the, or we can together we can solve this one as the integrator circuit. So at this moment the capacitor starts to charge, and the whatever the output of the comparator or the what we here using is the integrator, here is the output is given to the comparator there, which is a zero detector, because here one end is given to the ground, another usually of course whatever the voltage is given, of course it gives some kind of a values more than 0. So again it is raised, so that time the comparator output is 1. This is fed to the gate and it is enabled, and what is another oscillator frequency is given and the counter starts to record. Before it used to be disabled, now it starts to count and it will displaying whatever it is given to the flip-flop. So it starts to count. So what is this counter? Until it starts to count from the 0 to 9999, or you say it as 9999. This is the maximum count. So until it is maximum count, so that time it is charged. So whatever the value given in the input EI is charged up to the count of 9999, that is be given as the maximum count. Upon the maximum count, the clock pulse is given will be 0 with a carry is fed to the flip-flop. What will make this a switch driver is there, it will make SR on, or it is closed here, and it makes minus ER to be fed to the resistance to the capacitor, and it is when SR is closed and SI is off, that is the switch is open here. So what is here, negative ER is fed to the capacitor. So now this capacitor, that is discharging from the maximum level to the up to it reaches the 0, or we can discuss ground level. So that time when it is reaches to the ground level or the 0, so that time this comparator again gives a bit of 0. For this one, for rising or for the increasing or the charging of the capacitor, we give it as the time t1. For the discharging or the decreasing of the capacitor, we give it as a t2. So whenever this 0 bit is there, it is again disabling the gate and the counting is stopped. So here, whatever the counting stop, the value is counted, it is directly related or directly given in with respect to the input voltage. Okay. Now, in the next part, we'll be looking after the equations. But before getting into the equation, you can see here, it is starting from when a gate is enabled, it is starting from T1 till to maximum level, and when it is given to the charge to discharge, that time it comes here. Charging is with respect to the EI voltage and discharging is with respect to the minus ER, the negative reference voltage there. So T1 is with respect to the same EI, minus ER is with respect to the T2. So this is what we need to remember. Okay, these are key points here. And you need to remember the block diagram in such a way, the processes, how it works. The block diagram, what is doing in the first step, next step, what it is doing. So remember in that way. So here, during the charging of capacitor, is with respect to the time t1, the output of the integrator is given by E naught is equals to minus 1 by RC with respect to 0 to t, the time interval of EI, what is the input voltage with respect to dt. That is when it is integrated, we get minus EI, the time interval is for t1. As we said for the during the charging, the time is the t1. So we directly substitute here t1 and divided by RC, which is a constant. During discharging of the capacitor, it is with respect to the time t2, the output is given by E naught is equals to 1 by RC is equals integrated from 0 to t2, and the voltage is with respect to the minus ER, the negative reference dt, is equals to minus ER t2 divided by RC. So when we subtract this 1 and 2, we get E0 minus E0, of course it is 0. So here minus E1 of T1, E1 into T1 divided by RC plus ER into T2 divided by RC. So again here 0, so shift it to the one more side, we get E1 EI, E1 T1 divided by RC is equals to ER into T2. So EI and ER are the voltages, the input and the output, sorry, negative reference. So then the T1 and T2 again the time intervals with respect to their input and the reference voltages. So RC get cancelled. So EI is equals to ER into T2 divided by T1. So now when we consider if the oscillator period is T, capital T, and the counter indicates N1 and N2. N1 is for the pulses recorded during the T1, and the N2 is with respect to the pulses recording during the T2. So what I'll do, instead of T1, I'll be represent it as N1 into T, and in the place of T2, I'll replace it by N2 of T. So again, T is cancelled here. EI is equals to ER into N2 by N1. So as we know, N1 and N2 are constant with respect to some voltages there. So no. So what is this variable considering? K1 is equals to ER divided by N1. What is that K1? I am taking it a reference or some voltage for which I am giving a constant negative voltage references to the discharge capacitor. So that is again directly proportional to the ER with respect to the pulses there. So I can make it as EI is equals to K1 into N2. So here, what is the equation 3 that is in this slide? In the previous slide, equation 3, where is EI is equals to ER into T2 divided by T1. What it is saying? That it is accuracy of measure does not depend on the integrated time constant. That is, we don't have any time value here. It is not an integrator time constant. So from the equation 4, it is indicating accuracy independent of the oscillator frequency. So from there, what you can understand, it's purely the time integrator, the whatever the time interval we are having, that's the time, and it is not affected by the integration values or some time constant there. Only purely what is with respect to T1, the charging, with respect to discharging T2, the time intervals will be taken and will be using it for the voltage values there. So after looking at this process, what is the advantages we can see? It has excellent noise rejection nature and it is averaged by the positive and negative ramps using the process of integration. We are avoiding all the ramps, whatever the things is there, charge, discharge, only that factors will be there. So capacitor charging is of course with respect to the pure voltage there. And the accuracy is plus 0.0005%, so very high. The fluctuation, right? Yeah, just joking. Okay. Then the disadvantage. What is the disadvantage in this? What is the process? Is very slow. Okay, it's very slow. I know the capacitor process is always a slow, not using, but is the charging effects. Also, how slow they are giving the input, that much the process will take a slow. As we say that accuracy is a plus or minus, so fluctuation is very less there. For that purpose, it is very high. Okay. So now we'll be seeing the another technique, the staircase ramp technique. Okay. Here in this method, usually we will be comparing a internally generated voltage which is increasing from steps from 0. So here we are comparing the number of steps required to match the input it is counted. So one voltage will be generated with respect to this staircase, the voltage some from the reference voltage that is compared with the input voltage. How? With respect to the starting from the 0 to that the voltage what is required in the form of the staircase. So this is the method we'll be using. That is, we are generally we can say that we are comparing Vi is equals to Vc, and after that the Vi is equals to Vc, the counter is disabled. The counted value is displayed with respect to the proportional to the input Vi. At the initial step, the counter is reset to 0, and the counter output drives the digital to analog converter. So what is here, the reference voltage whatever we are giving is generated from digital to the analog, and that is fed to the comparator. So what is comparator? Vi already given there, and Vc is compare, and that the bit is given, its output is given as 1, and it is given to the gate, and here the gate is enabled. Upon the application of Vc, so that time when it is enabled, so that the counter will start to count. So even if it is a small increase in the voltage, so it starts to count, increase, wait for the next voltage. So this is what the output voltage. So you can see here the process when it's starting from 0. This is what the Vi, and what is here the T1, the start of the reference voltage. So it is starting up to certain level, it is the constant or up to T2. So what is doing here? Increase for charge for some amount to count for some amount time. Again it will be constant. Again count. Then again it will be constant. So again it will start to count. And then again constant. So this is what continuously is carried out until the Vi is compared with the Vc. If until it will be Vi is equals to Vc. So comparator, when we get the Vi is equals to Vc, the comparator again it will change the state to 0, and it will disable the gate, and it will block the clock pulses. And here the counter stops, the counting and the displayed value is proportional to the input value. So from the time interval from T1 to T2, we are measuring in the form of a staircase. Measure, constant, stop, measure, stop. So that the steps in the form of a staircase ramp is generated. So hence we call this one a technique as the staircase ramp technique. Looking at this one, what might be the advantages? Here, input impedance of the DAC is very high. When they compare, because VI or VC is reached or any compensation is there, we need to compare here. When we go for this accuracy, it depends on the stability and the accuracy of the voltage. How the input and the input voltage given and the DAC, how stabilized or the how perfect we given the input there. We shouldn't have any kind of a error, or we should usually have a attenuator or the stabilizer, whatever the voltage is there. And here the clock has no effect on the accuracy because it will be doing whatever the start and the stop. So from the starting pulse to the stop pulse, so that much it will be doing. So here it is purely it is depending on the voltage and DAC, and what is the main what we are looking into this staircase ramp technique. We are not looking at the things. What is the disadvantages here? The one problem here is it is measuring the instantaneous value. At what that instant of time, the value compare given. So that is what the disadvantage. Here the stabilized output is not been able to calculate. So that only that moment the output whatever the voltage is there is compared here. As I said, compare, as I said, VI is equals to VC, compare, okay, a measure, rise the stop, because when Vi is equals to again stops. So like that it will be carrying out in the steps there. So until the full compensation is reached, the input impedance is very low. So we can influence the accuracy. But again I said, it's mainly depending on the voltage and the DAC, and we have to look at the system, the impedance, everything has to be calculated properly. Remember one thing in the staircase ramp thinking, Vi is equals to Vc. You need to compare that. So when I Vi is equals to Vc, the gate is closed. Till there, measure a moment of instantaneous voltage, measured, constant again same. Again when that next moment, instantaneous voltage, measure, stop. This is done with respect to the clock. With respect to, as I can give an example of that. First clock pulse, first step, again next clock, it will be waiting for next second clock pulse. Again the constant is maintained. Again when the next clock pulse, rise in the voltage. Again the next clock pulse. Again it is waiting for the next clock pulse. Wait, like that the step comes. Okay. So again here it is referred from the HSLC in electronic instrumentation. So the David Abel and other AD Helfrich and WT Cooper are the references. Okay, thank you.